welcome to Magazine Art. I'm Sandy, and today we're going to take old magazines or catalogs and turn them into a pretty little bowl or vessel like this. You should have already picked up your take and make bag with all the supplies that you're going to need for this project. And in that bag, you're going to find a couple of magazines, a roll of tape, and some glue, and a paintbrush. And that's what we'll need to get going. To get started with our magazine art project, we're going to take one of the magazines that's in your take and make bag, or if you have a pretty catalog or magazine at home that you'd like to use, you're certainly welcome to do that. I have this pretty flower catalog, so I'm going to make a few pages just to show you out of this. So the first thing you want to do is take your magazine or catalog and just tear pages out of it. And that's all you've got to do. Really simple. Just hold the one side, tear the pages out. And if they don't tear completely straight, that's okay too, because it's all going to be wound up in these paper, we're calling them paper straws. So tear at least 25 pages. You can do more if you like. The more pages that you tear, the bigger your pot will be, but the bigger it gets, the harder it is to handle as well. So just keep that in mind. So once you've got your 25 pages torn out, you'll start rolling the straws. One thing to keep in mind when we do this is the pretty side that you want to show, you're going to have that laying face down on the table. And when we start rolling, we're going to work from corner to opposite corner, or as close as we can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that's the general direction we're going to roll. And so you just take the little corner and you just start rolling it. And I don't know, it just take your tiny corner and it'll get bigger. And one of the secrets is the tighter we roll things, the more stable our bowl is going to be when we're done with this. So get your corner tucked in, start rolling, and just roll, roll, roll. And just keep going towards this opposite corner. And just roll, roll, roll. And once you get to the end, and you've got your little corner here, there's a roll of Scotch tape in your take and make bag. And just take a small piece of tape, it doesn't have to be very big, just like this, and tape this one loose corner down. And then just keep doing this until you've got at least 25 paper straws or tubes, whatever you want to think of them as. So again, I'm taking a page with my pretty side face down, start at my corner, working to this corner, and just kind of tuck that little pointed end in and roll. And we're going to try to keep our straws or tubes as close to the same size as possible. They don't have to be exactly, but it just makes things easier when you're making your big roll if they're as close as possible to the same size. So roll, roll, roll. We've got our pointed end. We'll get a tiny piece of tape. Tape that end down. And keep doing that until you've got all 25 rolled, and then you're ready to move on to the next step. So the next step would be to take one of your tubes or straws, and you're going to start connecting them. And it's pretty easy. All you do is insert one inside of the other, and because we're going to be kind of pulling these tight, it works best if you tape them together. So again, you'll take your tape and you'll just put a little bit of tape where the two tubes connect. And then we're going to start rolling again. And we're going to take one end of the two tubes or straws that we've put together, and we're just going to start rolling. And roll. And here, again, you want to roll it as tightly as you possibly can. And you're going to kind of smash it down as you're rolling, and that will make it easier to roll. Just roll, roll, roll. And it might be a little trickier when you roll across a piece of your Scotch tape, but just keep rolling, rolling, rolling. And just keep smashing it, rolling as tight as you can. And these magazine pages or catalog pages are a little thicker than the magazine pages, so your rolling might not be quite as challenging as this one is. But see how I'm just rolling the pages? Just roll, roll, roll. And then just try to keep the consistent pressure on it so it stays rolled up tightly. And then when you start to get close to the end of the tube, you will take another tube, stick one inside of the other. So you've extended your tube again, tape it so they stay together. That also helps when you're kind of pulling on it to make sure that your pressure is good, so your roll is nice and tight. If you've taped them together, it'll keep them from coming apart if you pull on them, and that will save you some frustration. So you will continue doing this type of movement with rolling and rolling, and then adding the next tube. And it doesn't matter which one goes in which. Just tape it down, just like this, and continue rolling until you've got all 25 of your tubes connected. And you will have something that resembles this in size. Now you don't have to rubber band this. I just rubber banded this one because I had done it beforehand and I wanted it to stay in shape. But you're gonna start small and then just keep adding your tubes, and then you'll get one like this. See, that's what happens if you let go. Your tube is gonna unwind and then you have to start all over again. So once we've got all 25 tubes or straws connected, you'll take one last piece of tape, and you see where this is my last one. I'm just gonna check my tension and make sure this is as tight. See, and that's what happens if you pull too hard. They will come apart. Just tape them back together, because that works great too. If you can put them back inside each other, fine. If not, just tape them together. So the lesson there is, if you have to pull, try not to pull on the joint where the two tubes are together. Once you get all of your tubes connected, take your piece of tape, tape it, that last hanging piece, right to your finished product. Now everything's going to stay in place. And the next step is forming the vessel. And you want to go slowly and very careful, because if you push through too hard, you're going to undo your coil and you'll have to do it all over again. So just take your thumbs and fingers and kind of your thumbs on top and the rest of your fingers down below, and just start shaping. And very gently, one row at a time, kind of lifting them off of the other. Just go like this. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. And you take your thumb and kind of pop it out. And just keep doing that until you've got a shape. And I would set it down and kind of make sure that it's going to stand up so that you've got enough pieces flat right in the very bottom so it will sit properly. And then just seeing what I did here is I pushed too far and it came apart. And sometimes if they're loose enough, you can put them back together. And then once you've got your shape, so you keep pushing that one. Okay, there we go. Just keep moving them up carefully, slowly, a little bit at a time. And once you've got your shape and you're happy with it, the next thing you can do is put glue all over inside and outside to make it hold its shape, like I did with my sample here. Now that the glue's on there, you can get it apart, but it's going to take more work. So just you can do it a couple of different ways. You can pour the glue in and swish it around with your paintbrush. You can pour some glue on a paper plate or whatever you choose to use and kind of brush it inside. Let it, whichever side you start with, dry, and then move on to the next side. And once it's dry, you have a completed recycled magazine bowl or vase. Have fun. Thank you for joining us for Magazine Art. I hope you had fun with this project. If you have any video or still pictures of you doing the project or your end result, we'd love to see them, and you can share them with us at the email address on the screen. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.